What is up, everybody? Josh Tapp here again, and welcome back to the Lucky Titan. And today we're here with Tom Antion. And I have to introduce this guy in an interesting way because I heard Tom's interview on Entrepreneurs on Fire twice. First off, you never get interviewed by John twice. First off, secondly, it was one of those ones that just really caught my attention. I listened to about 5 times because he gives really amazing, actionable advice. This guy has helped thousands of people to grow and monetize their businesses, to scale. This guy's just so creative when it comes to building businesses. So he's also the host of Screw the Commute. And this guy, honestly, if you want a great podcast, you've got one right here, and you've got number 2 right here with Tom Antion. But Tom, first off, say what's up to everybody and let's hop in.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm thrilled to be here.
This is exciting. So Tom, like I said, I'm pretty excited to talk with you today. A little bit starstruck over here because I've been listening to you for years. I heard your first
You'll get over it after I start talking.
And now it's gone. I remember listening to your interview when I was in college, your first one with John. I just thinking to myself, man, I got to meet this guy one day. So when I went back and listened to it again, I'm like, oh my goodness, how have I not joined this guy's program and everything? So Tom, I want to ask you a few questions first about what you would recommend when it comes to building a business quickly and with your hobbies, because I know your entire business model is built around helping people take a hobby, monetize it, and blow it up across the internet.
Yeah, and it's not the whole business model, but it's an important one because people pay through the nose for what they're doing. They're golfers or camping or I have a protection dog company based on the fact that I got this enormous expensive dog and I don't want to pay through the nose for all the stuff to maintain a dog. So my whole thing is I grew up very frugal. So you want to keep your costs low. And in this digital world, you can make products for zero cost of acquisition of the product and 97% profit in the product. So you got to screw up really bad to mess up at 97% profit when restaurants and or maybe 5% they bring to the bottom line if they're lucky.
Yeah, if they're lucky, if they're having a good year.
If they're even open, that is, so basically, if the more knowledge you get, if you can create an inexpensive WordPress website and literally $150, and if you went on the open market, it'd be 4,000 or 5,000. So if you just learn how to do that, and a lot of people are too lazy to get their fingers dirty doing this stuff. And I grew up blue collar. We both had great dads that instilled in us excellence and learning, everyday learning and everyday improvement. I was really loved to hear about your dad. And so the more you learn, the lower the cost can be, and you can't get taken advantage of when you do have to hire something. There's a really good thing that everybody can use out there. Whenever you have to hire some kind of service, this is the term, and I forget where I learned this. This isn't mine, but it's great. It's this job should be easy for somebody that knows what they're doing. If you tell that to somebody, they're like, uh-oh, this guy knows what's going on. I can't jack the price up like the typical person that goes, I mean, seriously, the average person that goes to buy a website might as well put a giant target and with a big duck on it like they're in a shooting gallery, because in 2 seconds, the web person, I actually own the domain, Kill Your Web Designer, by the way. So they know you don't know what you're doing and say, oh, I got to have a website. Well, it's going to be 5,000. Oh, I guess I have to have it. Well, you have to make a fortune to get to broke again. All right, that's the problem. So if you only put $150 into it and you get legitimate tax deductions, and I'm not an attorney or lawyer, but I have had hundreds of them in my audiences around the whole world. And they said, yeah, that's right. If you're bringing in money from a website, the expenses are tax deductible. So I have one. I'm a tennis nut. Josh, I have the dubious distinction of being the largest person ever to create and star in a tennis training video. It's called fatsotennis.com because all the ball machine was $1,700, the rackets are $200, and the strings, you got to have a PhD to pick them, so I started fatsotennis.com, and we made a DVD set that we sell. And so I got a trip to California to interview some of the big tennis coaches, and you know, it's all legitimate because that's bringing in revenue. Now, if I didn't want to create the DVD, you can get affiliate products, you know, that are related to your hobby or your family interest, and as long as they're bringing in some money, boom, you're in good shape. But check your tax advisor. But it's there's no question about this. This is a way to start cheaply with something you love doing already, and you don't feel guilty about going golfing if you're gonna, you know, make money on it in the back end.
Yeah, no joke. And I hope everybody took note of this. You kind of just threw it in there as a teaser, but man, that was like the gold. 97% profit margins. That literally takes the risk out of everything. I remember having a conversation the other day. Somebody was asking me, like, oh, how do you handle the risk of being an entrepreneur? Like, are you kidding me? I control my destiny. If I'm working for somebody else, I could be gone the next day. So
Well, yeah, and this was different when I first started 44 years ago, way long before you were around, buddy.
yeah, Tom,
You
sorry.
wouldn't even thought about it. I was reading this book on buying real estate, and my brothers are telling me, "What are you doing? You can't do that." And I said, "I don't even have a couch to repossess. Where's my risk here?" You know. So I owned 5 apartment buildings and a hotel before I graduated from college, starting with nothing. So it was
Wow.
long before no money down and all that wave came around.
That's so funny. Yeah, and I love that. I do want to ask you a little bit about the framework with this because a lot of people come here saying, "Give me some actionable steps." So you're talking about monetizing a hobby, but making it completely, I don't even know how to say it, tax write-offable. That's not even a word.
Tax deductible.
Tax
Yeah.
deductible. Thank you.
Yeah.
Space that one. Tax deductible. So how would you actually go about doing this?
All
If you,
right, you're going to build a website based on that, put a nice theme on it. Your whole thing's going to be 150 bucks maybe. Then you're either going to decide, am I going to make an ebook maybe or a digital product or an online course? But if that's too daunting for you to start with, you're going to go out and look for affiliate products about that topic. One of the places to start is ClickBank, one of the oldest management companies for affiliate products. They have thousands of products in all kinds of different fields, but they're not the only game in town. You just look for your topic plus affiliate program, and then you can sign up for free, display the product. Now you got to make sure the product is good because nobody will trust you if you recommend stuff that's crap, you know, so you got to be careful there. And then you could go on YouTube and make videos about that product, and you have to disclose now that you're an affiliate. You know, in the old days you didn't have to, but now legally you just have to say something, but it's no big deal. Oh, I love this product so much I decided to become an affiliate. That's all you got to say, and you're cool. Put that in the description, blow up the product on your video, and money can start coming in. There's lots of other ways to do it, but that's the basic structure of it, where you have virtually nothing invested, and you have an income generator right there.
well, and I love a lot of the stories you've told about it. And we just hear these stories all the time of people who, I mean, it's these kids, they're 12 years old and they decide to sell scrunchies again because they want to make that a thing and become millionaires off of it. But they're essentially just using your methodology because
Yeah. I mean,
has no money.
it's very easy. Now, if you want to jump this up, man. So I wrote an ebook in 4 hours at a layover at McCarran Airport. I remember it vividly. Um, and that book has brought in $3.6 million over the years. And this has taken the affiliate idea where you recommend something and then you get a commission if somebody buys it. Well, the next level of that is called a residual affiliate program, which means you recommend the product or service and then you keep getting paid over and over and over again. So you might recommend a membership site. In my case, I recommend a shopping cart system. Some of the people I've recommended have had it 18 years. I make $600 a year per person from reading about it in that book. And when it tells them all the great things that could help them, but they can't do it unless they have the product. So they have to go buy it and I keep getting paid. So the thing is, Josh, I promoted it once and I get paid in perpetuity as long as that person sticks in the program or keeps the membership site or whatever it happens to be. That's called a residual affiliate program. That's like an insurance policy for you and your family. Because
Yeah.
and one of the things I get on radio and TV all the time is I tell them I couldn't stop the money coming to my checking account if I tried. And it sounds like BS, but that's the mechanism that does it. If I quit and sold everything, I'd have a couple $100,000 coming in from these things, and as long as people stayed in.
Right. Yeah. As long as they're staying. But the reality is, like you're saying, it's not even your job to keep them in. Once they bought
No,
the product, it's that product's company's job to make sure the client stays on.
it is, but you can add value and that keeps them in longer. So I offer to, to tell them how to use it and help them. And I made videos on how to help them. So I added some value in an effort to keep them in longer so that they're not waiting for somebody to get back from tech support for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of people, they're thinking that it's going to take so much time and so much effort, but you're talking about make a few videos, make a website in your free time. And if you've never tried to make a website, whoever is listening to this, you could literally build a one-page website in less than 2 hours, no matter how crappy you are at web development.
Yeah, and Josh, if you had trouble with it, you could go down to the preschool and wake a kid up from his nap, and he could help you with it. So
That is like so sad, but true. Like, I don't even know how to read yet, but I can help you build this website. Oh boy. Well, yeah. And I love that because the methodology is all about, hey, sell them the product, but then you do something that I think is very unique to you and the way that you develop brands in general is you really heavily focus on getting them onto your email lists so you can create more sales opportunities for yourself. So could you walk us through a little bit of that process as well?
yeah, I look really pitiful on social media because to me it's a necessary evil. And I was telling you earlier, I lived through the MySpace days where that was the end all be all, and then boom, it disappears off the earth. So I use it as a necessary evil to get people the heck off of there onto an email list. So I've had as many as 150,000 subscribers, and hovers around 100,000 now if I clean the list up. Um, and that's the way I use it. And also I was taught by the best of the best in the early days on search engine optimization. Michael Campbell could get all 10 spaces on the front of, at the time it was Google didn't even exist yet. It was, I forget the name of the thing. And I could get 4 to 6 places on the first page of the major search engine of the day. But that's long gone. So 5, 6 years ago, we just quit worrying about search engine optimization, which a lot of people will, yell at you because, oh, that's important. Well, it's important if you're Walmart or something. I don't know. But it's paid traffic nowadays where you can turn it on and turn it off. And if you know what you're doing, there's 2 major bargains on earth right now with paid traffic. That's in-stream ads on YouTube, the ones you can click skip, because if they skip within 30 seconds, you don't pay anything. So you can get massive branding from it. You can pixel people so you can retarget them like crazy. And the other one that's very little known and it's very specific, it's Instagram story video ads, driving them not off of Instagram, driving them to your profile. You can get those from 1 to 6 cents a visit, so
Wow.
yeah. And I get stuff on YouTube that would cost me from $1.50 to $5.50 per click on the main search, 2 to 6 cent video views, and the videos can be as long as you want. All right. Now, obviously they're interrupting people with the video because they're placed on top of other people's videos. In the main search, people were actually looking for that, but it's just still not worth $1.50 to $5.50. That's too risky. But 2 to 4 cents a video view, no problem.
See, and I love that because you're essentially saying, so you have your website, you make some videos of yourself selling these things, and then do you in your Instagram story, for example, or your Instagram bio? I'm so bad at social media, so I don't even know.
I know.
But the link you can put in on your Instagram, where does that go? Is that
Well, you can change it anytime you want. So in a particular promotion, you can say, check the link in my bio. And then for that promotion, you do it. And then now it's only going to last so long because the next promotion, you only get that one link. But once you hit 10,000 followers, you can do a thing called swipe up. And so that's the big kahuna that everybody shoots for, and I don't even have that, but I do everything to get them off of there. And a regular posting, I can just tell them, because go to screw the commute and get my free download. And so that's pretty easy to remember. Screw the commute. Say so.
Right, right.
So you want to, we call that the radio and podcast test for a URL, so that any place where you can't have them just click, you want it to be so darn easy to remember. And so screw the commutes about as pretty easy. Yeah.
Memorable. And that's
Yeah.
it's funny and it's memorable. We could have an entire podcast about that. So
Hmm.
I want to ask you though, so when you're driving people, just traffic places to your site and everything, is your site all about selling them or is it all about educating them and then they go off and buy it? How do you, I know there's so many different schools of belief when it comes to,
Well,
uh,
yeah, and there's you don't just do one. See, that's the whole thing. People do one thing and pat themselves on the back and like, oh man, I had a lead magnet. Oh, good for you. Nobody's read it in 100 years. Yeah. So yes, you do uh, PDF downloads. You try videos that you send them to, free videos. You send them to e-courses. And e-courses, here's another little insider tip here. See, a lot of people, when you do a one-time lead magnet freebie, will put a crap email address that they're never going to look at till the next millennium. Okay. So what you do on an e-course is you tell them, hey, make sure you put your best email because you won't get all the parts to the course. So just that little thing can just totally change the results from your promotion, whatever it was to do that. So another thing is give multiple formats, because if somebody is an on the road a realtor, well, they're not going to sit down and read a PDF book because they're on the road. So give them an MP3, send them to your podcast to get them hooked. You got to pay attention to what the consumption method, that's a big word for us over the years, is if they don't consume your stuff, the whole bit was wasted. See? So give multiple formats. Even if you have a membership site, take one piece of content and make three out of it. If you had a video, take the transcript and put it in there, and then take the audio off of it and put it in there. And now people will not churn as much or leave your membership because you've pleased them in multiple formats.
I love that. I mean, it's so funny to watch. People. I even remember myself when I first started trying to do info products. I'd spend 3 or 4 weeks trying to build this 2-hour course because I sucked on camera, and then I'd go to launch it. Obviously, I didn't even know how to launch. I turned it on and then ran a Facebook ad for $100. Nothing happened. I'm like, oh, this sucks. Maybe the course sucks. So I go build another product, and then I go build a whole other product. I remember laughing. I meet so many people that way. I'm like, just don't build a product. Your next goal is sell something, and then you go build something.
Well, I know that your dad taught you about excellence, and my dad did too. I remember vividly as a 9, 10 years old. He was an electrician by trade, came from on a cattle boat from Syria as a, no shoes, no nothing. And I was watching him wire a panel one time, and I said, Dad, why don't you just cut the wires across this angle and save some wire and some money? Man, he looked at me with daggers in his eyes. He says, don't you ever do something and cut a few pennies to not be excellent. He said, you be a professional. When people look at this years from now, they'll know a professional did it. And the way I turn that into my life now, because that's the way I look at things, is that I try to make my products so good that you can't believe you got this much value for this little money. And so when you do this after a period of time, sometimes I get lazy. I don't even write a sales letter anymore. I just send an email out. Like I wrote a book in 6 hours the other day, and on Friday, by Sunday night, $2,000 had come in, and I didn't even write a sales letter. I just put an email, hey, I got a new book out, because if my name's on it now, and I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying you build to this where people look at you like, man, this is great. If this guy's involved, it's great. Or this lady's involved, it's great. And so I just send an email. I did it again the next week. I had 4 hours. I wrote one, $2,000 by Sunday night. So striving for excellence, man, that's going to make it easy for you as you go along. And it's hard in the beginning, but if you have that attitude that your dad put in you and my dad put in me, it's going to change the world for you.
And I love
And it
that.
doesn't take, Josh, it doesn't take much to beat the competition now because
Right.
everybody else is schmucks.
Yeah. They all think that posting on social media is
Yeah.
marketing,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, no, that's awesome. I really think there's so much value in just getting to know who the people are that are on your list and providing them consistent value. I mean, a lot of people would say, "You wrote a book in 6 hours." They're like, "There's no way I could do that," right? You're far and above them in their level, right? But you're talking a lead magnet book, something that has become something that you can leverage to collect money, but also to bring people into your world. The lifetime value of those customers just drastically increases.
Well, yeah, and but I've got methods. In fact, I do master classes on speed and quality on writing ebooks, and I do two versions: a PDF as we start with, then convert it to Amazon Kindle. That's all. The rest of them are worthless, uh, comparatively. And so one way is you buy what's called a PLR product. This is private label rights, where since somebody already wrote the book, and then you don't sell it as is and put your name on it because it's, you know, a lot of times it's pitiful. So it starts the whole thing out for you. And then you go in and put your own stories in, make sure it's reads correctly, put, take things out that you don't believe in, put things in that you do. And that's what happened. I paid $7 for a book to start everything out for me. I could have done it myself, but it would have taken me hours and hours to sit down and think of everything I wanted to put in the book. There's another really cool trick is you go to Amazon, and any kind of topic that you want to write a book on, you put it in the search bar, the book comes up, books come up, you pick one, and then there's a little thing that says look in right at the top of the book. You click the look in function and you see the whole table of contents that that person thought for 3 days to figure out. And now you got all the things. And if you do it on 5 or 6 books, you see everything that people are talking about on that topic. And so you make your own table of contents, make your own skeleton of a book, and now boom, you got they started it all out for you, and you're not stealing, you're not plagiarizing, you're just letting somebody else do the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah, and I love that because, like you said, they're getting the outline done, all of the major pieces, and then you fill in your
Mhm.
stories and your opinions, and that's cool. And that was called private label. What is it called? PLR.
PLR. Yeah, if you just type in PLR for any topic on earth, there's hundreds of companies and tens of thousands of products. A lot of times they'll give you the sales letter, the graphics, everything. You probably won't pay more than $15 for the rights for
That's
a
crazy.
complete book. A lot of people just throw their name on it, but then, you know, a
It's garbage.
thousand other people got it. See, but nobody notices that for me it's a PLR because all my individual experience is thrown in, and it's cleaned up, and I'll throw in checklists and I'll do whatever I can to make it great, and then boom, it'll sell.
I love that. Well, and I have to ask this question, especially to you, where you've worked with so many entrepreneurs at this point. If you had to build a new business completely from scratch, knowing what you know now, what type of business would you build? Because you've mentioned like 25 different products. What would be the one that you would start with?
I think it's going to surprise you, Josh, because I'm supposed to be Mr. Big Shot internet guru, right? When people come to me and they want to make money fast, I send them to eBay. eBay. Here's why. And I got a couple, you'll be amazed at some of the money that's coming in on eBay. As of last year, they had 180 million people that come there to buy stuff. All right. So, and I'm frugal. I told you I'm frugal. I buy stuff on Facebook Marketplace and offer up these local buying apps. I grew up, like I said, very frugal in a small town. And so I like that kind of stuff. So I bought something off of eBay, but it was local. So I went to the guy's house to pick it up. Beautiful house, $500,000 motorhome out front. The guy comes to the door dressed nicely, invites me into his shop to buy this tool that I wanted. Because my dad was blue collar, he taught me how to use tools and stuff. So I go into his house downstairs. We're heading towards the basement. Josh, everything to this point was normal. And then I look over as we're going into his shop, and there are hundreds of ladies' bras hanging from the ceiling of his basement. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he sucks people in to buy tools and kills them and hangs their underwear up in his basement. I'm thinking all this stuff, right? So we go in there, I buy the tool. We're talking about how our dads taught us everything's back to normal, right? So I buy the tool, we're leaving, and I say, hey, what's the I gotta ask you, what's the deal with all these bras hanging up there? And he's like, oh, yeah, my daughter goes to all the thrift stores. She knows all the people. She knows all the sizes that are hard to get and very expensive. And she buys them, cleans them up, sells them on eBay. $200,000 a year she sells on eBay. Okay. He
Absurd.
said, he said she found a bunch more thrift stores and maybe hit 400 grand this year on used bras. All right. And I'm thinking now my marketing mind's going like, man, I'd like to do that, but if I'm hanging around the thrift store bra section, they're probably call the police. You know,
Now, like, I don't know if that's kosher for you to be
yeah.
hanging out in that section.
I know. And then this other lady is a friend of mine. She was a single mom. Her name is Lynn Drawley. She actually teaches this now. She would go every Saturday to yard sales with 80 to 100 bucks. Now on eBay, next to the search box, there's a little link that says advanced search. If you click it, you can then click a box that says completed listings only. So it'll tell you in the past 90 days, the item that you're looking for, how much it sold for, and whether it's sold or not. So she would go to a yard sale and maybe she'd see one of those nice metal Tonka trucks, let's say, and they're selling it for $5. She'd go on her cell phone, it's selling for 50 on eBay. So she would buy it. If it was selling for 30 at the yard sale and selling for 5 on eBay, she wouldn't. She was clearing $1,000 to $1,100 a week, single mom, taking care of her family, going one day a week to yard sales, you know? So, and the guy that taught me was selling used cell phones and doll heads. He's an ex-Marine. He came over to teach me how to do it. He had a stack of orders this big for used cell phones and doll heads. So the people will buy all kinds of stuff. So that's a lot of money though. He was pulling 20 grand a month. He showed me his orders. So
and that's just crazy. And the funny thing is, when you first say eBay, I'm like, does that even still exist? I haven't been on eBay in
182 million users. Yeah.
That's what's insanity. I'm like, geez, yeah, they're absolutely killing it over there. If that's
And all you need is a PayPal account, no website. They're happy to teach you how to do it. And day after tomorrow, you could have money coming in. Clean out your basement while you're at it.
yeah. Now your neighbor's basement while you're at it too, right?
Yeah. So there's just loads of ways. There's so many ways that people can do it if they get the knowledge. That's the whole thing.
See, I love that, because what you're talking about, and this is what I love about your entire methodology, is, you know, we look at a lot of the biz ops space, the business opportunities, and it's okay, you've got to learn all this and invest thousands of dollars in XYZ. And you're like, go to a garage sale and sell on eBay. Right?
Find some bras.
Yeah, find some bras, wash up bras and sell them. That one to me is hilarious. I thought he was the one selling them.
No, it's
what
his
a weirdo.
Well, you can be as weird as you want for 200 grand a year.
Oh, this is going to digress really quickly. Oh, boy. Well, Tom, so I do have to ask you this too, because you have built an entire school around this, the only accredited school for this. I want to know how, first off, what is it about and how do people gain access to it?
Well, it's the Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. It's been around 13 years. It's the only licensed dedicated internet marketing school in the country. It's licensed to operate by SHEV, the State Council on Higher Education in Virginia. I went through 3 years of scrutiny. I'll tell you why I did it, because I was seeing so many scams. I said, I need to set myself apart. All these people that are, claiming, get rich, and they're photoshopping PayPal sales, and they're living out of their car, telling you how to get rich. So I went through 3 years of scrutiny, background checks, criminal checks, all the people that work there, same thing. And it's a distance learning school. So it's anybody anywhere that can speak English can attend. But it's just a lot of licensing, it just is a big deal. And every year you got to recertify and all that. But and the crazy, see, entrepreneurs, I'm not suggesting people do this, all right, because they drive me crazy sometimes, because it's a distance learning school, right? All right, what does that mean? Nobody is in the building that we had. Say, I had to have a library, a physical library in the business that nobody ever set foot in 13 years, according to the state, right? To
Right,
get
in
the
order to get licensed.
so, so I had
He's got
old
one
books.
bookshelf in his office, and that's
I,
it.
I had no, I had a whole bookshelf. Some of the books are like 15 years old. I knew they wouldn't look at them, you know.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, it was just crazy, and it was all, it just, you have to play the game. That's not normal for me as a entrepreneur. That it's like big businesses don't like me either, because they got to take a 2-week committee meeting to take a leak. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get more done before breakfast than most of those executives get done in their entire career. So.
The sad truth is they'll think they're accomplishing more than
Yeah,
you.
right, right. Yeah, oh, I sharpened this pencil today. Geez, look at that. That's
They paid me 10 grand this month. Wow.
yeah.
Well, so first up, how can people get access to that school? Because I mean, it's a deep dive, like real true education on how to become a real digital marketer. And I have to caveat this because it's really funny. In my undergrad, they had like 4 classes teaching digital marketing. I took them as my electives just to see what they were about. And they were talking, like you said, SEO and like these majorly old school tactics. And I was just laughing on the inside when they were done with it.
Yeah, one of our claims to fame is we update our curriculum sometimes daily.
Wow.
Before you graduate, something's different, but I don't want to teach you old stuff. See, so we update it like crazy. We have people making money in the first couple months because the skills that we teach are hardcore. Every business on earth needs them. Email marketing, which you and I both love, the chat bots and blogs and YouTube and all the social media that we hate, so I know how to do it. I just hate it.
Amen.
But yeah, we got yeah, so one way to get in the school is you get a scholarship if you're in my mentor program, it's the longest running ever. It's been running 23 years on this
Wow.
topic, and 1,700, I think, plus students since we started. And so you get a scholarship. So one guy joined the mentor program, gifted, and he had spent $80,000 on his daughter's crap education, where I think all she learned how to do was protest after 4 years. And she's working a crappy job. He gifts the scholarship to her. After 1 month, she's making $1,100 a month on the side. 2 months, no, 3 months, she was making 3,000. Last I talked to her, after 4 months, she's making $6,000 a month as a side hustle, just helping other people. Because and the youth, people like you are revered. Old farts like me, like, get out of here. And they can't believe you know anything about the internet. But the youth are revered. In fact, I teach a whole thing on how to recruit young geeks and propeller heads to help you out. So anyway, she's making 6,000 a month just as a side hustle, and quit her other job. So it's, these skills are, every business knows they need them, but most businesses are clueless. Especially small business people who are just trying to get their basic job done, and then they got TikTok appears out of nowhere. I gotta make TikTok videos now. So they're happy to give money to young people to take this off their back.
Right. Well, and I love that because, like you're saying, I mean, anybody can make it in this space. And it's so funny to me because it's really intimidating to people, but you've basically broken down all potential barriers they could have and saying, just go through this, and by the end of it, you're going to be making money. And I feel
Even
like
before the end of it, I
yeah,
can't guarantee that, but I mean, it's pretty clear.
yeah. And coming from the biz ops space myself, it's really interesting because like the people we work with, they already have to have success because of I can't teach you these base level things. So we'll just start sending people your way, Tom. How about that?
Good. There you go. I'll take care of
Affiliate for you.
it. I'm crazy fanatic. I mean, I accidentally threw a teleclass on Thanksgiving. I didn't notice it was Thanksgiving. That's fanatic crazy.
People are like, why are you on here, Tom? Tom's hanging out by himself on Facebook Live.
Yeah. But see, I'm old. If I go out there, COVID looks at me like I'm gonna get this guy. But I said, no, you're not. I'm staying home and making money.
Teleconference. Oh, geez. Well, Tom, I do appreciate you coming on today, and I hope everybody will go check out your school. Where can they gain access to that, by the way?
Yeah, that's at Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia, but it's distance learning. It's imtcva.org. And also, I want to give them a thing that's really helped me over the years. It's an automation book. It's, you know, I got up to 150,000 subscribers and 40,000 customers with one part-time temp person. And so this is all the tips and tricks I use to automate myself. And it helps me steal customers off of people that are too slow to get back to people, because I get back lightning fast. So it's at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Screwthecommute.com/automate free. Totally, we sell it for 27 bucks, but it's yours free because Josh had the idea of having me on the show.
The gumption, right?
Yeah, I'm saying, is he happy about it or not?
It was the risk tolerance I had, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he doesn't like low risk, or he wouldn't have me.
We said no live with this guy.
Yeah.
Tom, no, I do really appreciate you, and I hope everybody will go check those out. We will add the links to all of those in the description of the show, and if you're watching the video as well, it will be somewhere around the video. So, Tom, just one final question for you before we sign off. So if you could give one final parting piece of guidance to an entrepreneur, what would that be?
That would be learn as much as you can and keep your costs low and your profit margin high.